The Bay of Whales, Antarctica, January 15th, 1947. A fleet of 13 ships, 33 aircraft, and almost 5,000 troops arrived under the command of Rear Admiral Richard E. Byrd, famed naval officer and polar explorer who, in 1929, along with his crew, was the first to fly an airplane over the South Pole. Now, he is leading a massive, classified operation for the United States government known as Operation High Jump.
Operation High Jump was by far the largest expedition on the Antarctic continent. At this point in history, it was right after World War II. And High Jump's stated missions were about exploration and scientific discovery. They explored new places, they set up bases, and they took thousands of airborne photographs. They took measurements that nobody had ever taken over a vast swath of the Antarctic continent.
Operation High Jump was a massive operation. It's like a World War II invasion, but it also gives rise to some various theories, because why would we send an entire fleet to Antarctica just to do scientific research? Do we really care that much about science, or is there some secret government goal down there that we don't know about?
For over 70 years, the question has persisted: what was the true mission of Operation High Jump? One of the prevailing theories is that High Jump's secret objective may have been to locate a hidden Nazi base.
Starting in 1938 and arriving there in January 1939, Adolf Hitler had sent a Nazi research expedition to Antarctica. They established a presence there. Now, one of the purposes of this was to establish a whaling industry there. However, a lot of people believe that they were also storing weapons there. So this opens up the question, was Operation High Jump looking for a hidden Nazi base there in the ice that could contain secrets and weapons that the Third Reich may have left behind?
The possibility that Operation High Jump was searching for a secret Nazi base remains an unproven theory. But over the decades, others have proposed that Admiral Richard E. Byrd's true objective in Antarctica was to find something even more shocking: the entrance to a secret world hidden below the ice.
Richard Byrd was probably one of the last of the great explorers. He was the first man to fly over the North and South Pole, and he was determined to uncover the secrets of the land beyond the poles. When Byrd said the secrets of the land beyond the poles, he was probably using that as a romantic metaphor. So it's been taken over the years that Byrd was referring to possibly entranceways into the inner Earth.
The concept of an inner Earth is that we live on a shell, and that beneath that shell is a realm, another world, a parallel existence that has its own atmosphere, its own sun, its own land, its own fertility, its own animals, and perhaps even its own inhabitants.
Could Admiral Byrd have been searching for a mysterious land beneath Antarctica? It's an incredible story if it's true. And what's even more remarkable is that, according to legend, Admiral Byrd may have found it.
The story goes that when Admiral Byrd flew over the South Pole, he could see that there was an opening. He directed a squadron to fly into the opening, and underneath the ice wasn't frozen. It was temperate. There were valleys there. There was flowing water there.
The rumors had it that he had discovered areas of Antarctica that were free of ice and snow. Allegations that he discovered the inner Earth circulated in various books and publications, and it was alleged that at one point they observed a number of flying discs, UFOs. and received radio communications ordering them to land near an enormous city where they met the leaders of this underground kingdom. There's been all kinds of allegations, but we don't know if these stories are true or not.
Did Admiral Byrd discover a highly advanced civilization hiding deep below Antarctica? It all sounds too incredible to be true. But some experts are convinced that something very strange did indeed happen during Operation High Jump, because this massive military undertaking in 1947 was suddenly cut short.
Operation High Jump was supposed to stay for the entire Antarctic summer of 1947, but they were there less than 2 months and came back to the United States. It would be nice to know, why did they leave so early? What happened to a lot of the photographs that were allegedly taken at the time? And did everybody come back safely? Now, I suspect that the crazy stories about flying saucers and men from the Hollow Earth was part of a disinformation campaign to hide what was really going on. So the question remains, what actually happened with Operation High Jump?